Alright, so this is campaign turn 2. Well, the end of campaign turn 1 and the beginning of campaign turn 2. First, we have a couple housekeeping things to talk about. Just some stuff that, some questions that came up. The biggest question derived from narrative play versus matched play. So, this is a narrative campaign. It's all narrative play, technically, especially since we're using that table from the Antvellian project. However, what Streets of Death wants to do, based on my reading, is have the open play and narrative play missions use the narrative play rules, and the matched play missions use the match play rules. So, I'm thinking that there's either two ways we can go about this. We can do that. We can switch between different modes, or we can just do everything matched play. It was interesting researching the differences between match play and narrative play, as many of the things that I thought were just a part of the Warhammer rule set are actually just a part of matched play. Okay, first off, have I described... Is there any questions about that?
No.
No? Okay. So, for instance, during the match play rules, you would have the rules like points, Battle Brother. You can only have a certain amount of duplicate datasheet entries per points level. Boots on the ground, limits the command, strategic discipline, targeting characters. I'm dropping those keywords, but I actually don't know if... So that's like... flyers don't control objectives. What else? You have to pay... For summoning and stuff like that, you have to pay reinforcement points. As well as characters with wounds less than 10 can't be targeted unless they're the closest thing. Those aren't actually a part of 40k, the rules as a whole. Those are particular to matched play.
Really? The character targeting thing is?
Yeah, as far as I can tell, narrative play does not have that.
Hold on.
I thought that was in core.
That is in core rules. I have a core rule book right here.
Then bring it forth.
Core.
Yeah, right under shorting phase, page 179. Characters subtab.
Okay. Because it may be...
This is not a part of.
Yeah, so that's core. So that's a narrative and open too.
That is a narrative? Okay. Where was that again?
Page 179.
Because that's something we need to, again, discuss, because trying to track down the rules for narrative play was a nightmare.
From what I can see, most of the beta rules are...
Okay, so yeah, that is a part. You're correct.
Match play.
Yeah, so I was...
Everything else is good.
I was going off of a website that I found. I will link it in the Discord. Sorry.
As far as I can tell, what will impact us the most is that Chaos Space Marines and Chaos Demons is what we have. In narrative play, we can summon whatever we want. We don't need points to summon.
I wouldn't quite say whatever we want.
Well, whatever.
But summon unlimitedly. We still would have to abide by the Antvellian project limited deployment rules.
Yeah. So we could summon 8 troops, just no...
troops, demon princes, and corn hounds.
Yeah. Which is extra points we would get for free.
Yeah. So
basically why they banned it in match play.
Yeah. So as I was kind of researching the fundamental philosophical differences between match play and narrative play, that was quite some some really good internet discussions. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Argument.
So narrative play. Okay, so match play games are defined by the the rule or by list building. It is meant to again be fair, be tournament, and provide a balanced fight between the two players that is won whichever by hopefully whichever player is the better tactician. Whereas narrative play, the games are defined uh, by the mission itself. So they will. Okay, so there's not as many restrictions on match play on narrative play as there is in match play because oftentimes the missions themselves will imply restrictions on the game, such as one side has half the power level of the other side, or no flyers can be used in this mission, that kind of stuff. So, is there any questions about that?
Nope. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, which do we want to do? Do we want to do? Mhm.
For something like this, I would normally say narrative play,
Okay.
but uh, chaos and demons have a very distinct advantage in that sense.
That is true.
Specifically summoning. Had fun with that in the past.
Yeah, I once played a game against Lauren on narrative.
Okay.
I killed the first two Great Unclean ones.
And then two more came, and then three more, and then
Oh, wow.
Yep, and that is very true. So, do we want to do all games as matched play?
If we
Or-
do, we'll have to tweak the little table that determines mission.
We could, or I mean, most of these games, I think, will just like all the open play missions work with. They all say have power levels that are roughly equal, so points that are roughly equal be the exact same. With the narrative missions, again, most are okay. Armies they all say every mission says all armies must be battle forged. That doesn't change. A lot of them want one side to be slightly higher in power level. We can just waive that. And
Yeah,
yes,
I don't know
no,
about waiving that because the missions are quite disadvantageous to one side and they get more points because of it. Just
right.
gotta
yeah.
figure out what that
So
balance is.
you
Yes.
know
Yeah,
what? I think we should just open it up to narrative games.
Okay.
I
could
just
just
recommend
say
we all be chill about it.
we could just say max summoning of 2 troops, or put a limit on it too.
And again, there's also while there isn't we don't have access to the complete codex of demons. We are still, when it comes to summoning, bound by uh, limited deployment. What is it called? Order of
Limited.
battle.
Yeah, we would
I
just
mean,
get
yeah.
unlimited troops and the flesh hounds as being able to summon.
Yeah,
And Demon Princes.
and demon princes.
That's true.
But demon princes are decently hard to summon.
Yeah,
What are they? 12 power points?
9.
I mean,
9? Ugh.
it's at this point I should probably recommend that the word bearers have a lot of bonuses to summoning. That's one of their builds per se. Or, I
Do we
mean,
want?
here's something we could do. So this was turn one. We can do the next 3 turns with how Cities of Death is written, with narrative and open play missions being run with narrative rules, and the match play missions being played with match rules. And then halfway through the campaign, which is 3 turns from now, we can sit down and either we can sit down and decide whether or not this is inherently unfair.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
The other thing to consider is do we just use still use the narrative rules, but just use points instead of power level?
Yep. If
Because power level hasn't been updated since 8th edition came out.
yeah,
and points
Oh, I see what
have
you're saying.
grown significantly.
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy to do that.
Points instead of PowerPoints, sure.
So-
I tend to find points fairer.
Oh yeah, no, that entirely. That's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
They never can truly balance it, but they try at least.
No, yeah, but like PowerPoints, a squad of 10 tactical marines is equivalent to a squad of 10 tactical marines with Thunderhammer power shields.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Or here's what I'm hearing. That's a better way of saying it. So, when we decide on missions, if it comes up with match play, all of the match play rules are enforced. When it comes up narrative and open play, points are enforced with the restrictions that the narrative missions have, such as with the one you guys played, Decapitation. One side has half the points of the other side.
okay. And then the only other thing I'm a little concerned about or wondering about is when one side has more points than the other. Like, what do we term that as? Is that 10% more points?
The mission should say itself.
It does
So,
just say slightly
decapitation
more
is
than
at
one.
least twice that of the attacker. Okay, so that actually leads into the next thing I wanted to talk about. A lot of the narrative play missions are kind of vague in their rules. So I would say if it says, okay, so at least twice. So for that mission, it would be twice that of the attacker. The other ones, so there's ones that say slightly higher than that of the defender. Would we want to say something like 10% or 25%?
Probably 10%. 25% is a lot.
Okay. And if it says roughly equal, then I'd say just
Same amount, yeah.
same amount. So yeah, or when the attackers blah blah blah. Okay. I'd also say for the ones that. Okay, so here's a difficult one. Two of the missions say this works best with ground-based armies that contain few, if any, units that can fly. That's the Gauntlet and Thunder Run.
Yeah, Tau or Imperial Guards with well, you can have Valkyries. I don't think that was on your list, but
Yeah.
Tau could just fly across the board and go like, "See ya, bitches."
Yeah, or if we
Yeah,
just.
we can work with those restrictions. We do have some stuff that
Okay.
best maybe just one thing that can fly per 1,000 points.
Okay. And for the ones
What?
that. Sorry.
And I'm not talking like flyers. I'm talking things with the fly keyword.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
more basic stealth suits have that.
we could pick 3 Storm Eagles and just fly it off the board for Thunder Run on turn 2. How does that sound? I think, Lodius, you have more stuff that flies than anyone else.
Yep, I'm just okay. That flies.
Are you sure you want it like that high though? Because again, Tau has a lot of.
In terms of how few I can bring.
Yeah, they have a lot of units with fly.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking the only thing I have that doesn't have fly is troops.
Yeah, that would maybe we would just re-roll if you get that one.
Or let's see, Thunder Run.
How fast can your. Sorry,
8
I'm just
inches.
bringing up your list. How fast does your battle suits go?
Crisis and Stealth are 8 inches. Ghost Kill and Riptide are 12.
Okay.
So they could get across the board in 3 turns, provided you ran. But that would be without. Well, depending on what systems you have, you could still shoot maybe.
So I wouldn't.
Not if they're advancing.
I wouldn't mind so much the crisis battle suits, allowing those ones, if that would work.
Alternatively, because it's It doesn't say anything about having to be vehicles or something. So, alternatively, I could just make it Imperial Guard units or something.
Oh yeah, you could.
Another thing I wanted to discuss, actually, a concern I want to
Hmm.
bring up, regiments and other keyword type characteristics.
Yes.
Are we restricted to the same ones, or can we just choose any as we make the list?
You can choose any as you make the list, as long as they follow the order of battle.
So we could switch. I could like switch from Alpha Legion to something else if I wanted to.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, dokie.
Okay.
Is that fast attacks? You could take 3 shadow swords and try and get them across the field.
That'd be
What do you mean we can
interesting.
take 3 shadow swords? You can't prove that.
Yeah. So, um, I mean, that question about Thunder Run and the Gauntlet, which I think is basically the same. It's another escape mission.
Hmm.
Unless we pull those missions today, that's not a pressing question. We can think on that one.
Yeah, and just figure it out. It may not even come up that Tau has a major presence on either of those missions.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think those base missions have a base problem with them because if you know you're going to take them, you can take your hardest units, let's say the Shadow Sword or Knights, and just like run them across the field and get their like third turn.
I mean, a part of the game, and it says specifically in Urban Conquest, is that you know the mission before you make your list.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
This
and something like that, where you're taking a Knight or a Shadow Sword with the Express Brewers are running it, that's a big chunk of your list that's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because, I mean, I would rather take. Well, let's play a game of Thunder Run and we'll find out what I'd rather take. um, any questions?
Nope.
Not so far.
Okay. Anything that I have not covered that we need to talk
Don't think so.
Mhm.
I guess just finding some maps that are more cluttered.
about? More cluttered, yeah. I have some from the Discord group I'm a part of. I have some stuff that I think would work. Maybe. Let's see, I got to work tomorrow, so I can pop on after this for a little bit, and we can see. Uh, yeah, that's a good point. Let's all try and keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Steam
Mhm.
Workshop and stuff like that, and we'll see what we can find.
And then the other thing was the using the BCB format for maps. I don't know if you've seen it. Did you end up playing on a BCB map last time?
Yeah.
Okay, that format seems to be nice. So look for that tag.
BCB. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a very nice map.
it's all very nicely organized and stuff, and it's all modular. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Little plug for them. We're not sponsored, but we could be. Okay. All right, that's it. I think we'll go on to the campaign round. Okay, so this concludes the action phase of turn 1. So now we count up the victory points. At the end of each game, the players must record the results of their battle. In particular, they will need to note who they played, the mission they played, whether they won, lost, or drew, and if their opponent warlord was slain during the game or not. So, Lodius and Brad, you were the first. Oh, what happened? Okay, very good. You were the first two to play a game. What was the result of your game? And which color of these markers would you like?
I've already marked off red here.
Okay. Then red you shall be.
So let's see. Chaos won the battle, so that's 3 points. and did indeed slay the warlord. So that's another point. So that's 4 points for chaos.
And these are glory points.
Glory points, yeah. And then just 1 for me on that because
Okay.
I lost that battle.
Your enemy warlord was slain.
It was not.
It was not.
Because
Okay.
there was 2 of them.
Okay. Did we kill your warlord?
Yes, which is why it's 4 points for chaos.
Beauty. Okay, so me and Gladys game, we, the Chaos team, lost. And my enemy warlord was slain, so I believe that's 4 points to you.
So 5 on 5.
5 on 5. Okay. At the end of the action phase, each player totals their glory points. Whoever has the highest total will have the advantage in the ensuing strategy phase. At the end of the strategy phase, each player's glory point is reset to 0. Okay, so we're equal. So I'm going to pull out the most cursed dice that I have found upon Tabletop Simulator,
Okay.
and we shall each roll one to find out.
No, why does it? Why?
Oh.
I don't want to touch it. The menu do it.
Oh god.
Okay, so we have the initiative in the strategy phase.
Oh god.
There we go.
All right, those have to go away now.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, so initiative has been determined. Okay, so at the start of the strategy phase, the players must determine the initiative for the current phase. When a rule instructs players to do something in initiative order, they resolve it starting with the player with the highest initiative and ending with the player with the lowest initiative. We're doing teams, so it's going to be Chaos, then Tau. Earn campaign points. So this is this is another one that we fill out in our little tracker on the side. Each player adds up the resource value, the upper number on your location cards, of all locations they currently control. Each player earns a number of campaign points equal to the total.
Do we have to switch them before we do that? Because we lost one, they gain one.
We do that after.
Okay.
I think we get 12?
14.
14?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep, 14.
Okay. And that's campaign point.
Yep, 14. That is campaign points, correct. Okay. Each player checks to see if they have achieved the strategic goals for the campaign, which is right here.
On the power base.
In an Under Siege, at the start of the campaign, the Protector must select one location in their territory to be their power base. We have selected that as the very center tile. It cannot be upgraded and it cannot be raised. This location is worth 1 bonus campaign point to the Protector if they control it in the strategy phase, and 3 bonus to the campaign points to the Invader. However, the current random event is Strategic Opportunity. The campaign points awarded for completing the strategic goal are doubled, so we get 2 extra. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. 3. Earn strategic points. Each player adds up strategic values of all locations they currently own. This is the second number, the lower one. Each player earns a number of strategy points equal to the total. They can be spent in the next step.
I saw 8.
8.
Now we have 8 as well.
2.
Okay, next is spending strategy points. Players start by placing all the strategic resources cards face up in front of them. Now, you guys who are more experienced with this, there's a way to drop off cards, right?
In terms of just taking some,
Or like dropping one off one by one?
Yeah, just flip it and just take it.
Okay. So we unveil all of them, and then starting with Team Chaos. We pick one and buy it. What else can I say while I'm pulling this out? Once one has been bought, it can't be used by the other team.
Okay.
Thus is the benefit of having initiative.
Oh, there's so many.
There is 25.
We reveal all of them?
Yeah, so we don't.
All the strategic. Okay, wow.
Yeah, we pick.
Wait, this includes any that are currently our play are inside the slots of the Skitty map. Wait, how do you determine that?
Some of them you spend and they go sit in there.
Okay.
This is the strategic. Okay, that's all of them. This is the strategic one right here.
Okay.
Okay. I may fast forward this part on the recording because you'd be looking through all of them.
Yeah, this is a lot of reading. Too bad you couldn't just post this on something and we could just read through it at our leisure and get back to it.
I couldn't find anything. I will look harder and see if I can find something.
It should be in the book, right? Or
It's not.
Really? Wow.
Because they want you to buy the cards.
Hey.
Well,
I actually would suggest, Brad, there's one card in here. There might be more than one card, but there is a card in here that lets us take a special area.
okay, if you can find it.
I think
I'm
this
fine
is
with
it over
that.
here. Problem is,
Establish outposts at the start of season territory step of the strategic phase. The player with this card can upgrade one of the locations.
Assault Stronghold. This is it right here.
Oh, okay.
So that one lets us take it. It makes one of the fights next game or next action phase a fight over one of the special areas. Diviner of Fate. Generate. Yeah, so I think that. I mean, shall we go for that one?
Sure.
Okay. So
this is a lot of reading that it's kind of like it's interesting, but I don't really know if we'd use it.
yeah. Okay, so that takes up 4. Okay, we don't. Okay.
And then
This one.
Luchu is one, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. What are you thinking, D-Man?
There is quite a few good ones.
I can barely hear you, D-Man.
I
Just
do
crank
like.
him up in Discord.
Yeah, you have to crank me up in Discord. I can't get any louder, bruh.
Okay.
Okay.
Urban Tactics I think is really good for us, Lauren.
Yeah, I was thinking that. This though, look at this.
Okay.
Look at this.
Ooh. We don't control that though, do we? No, it's not on the map, is it? Oh, okay, we don't. Huh.
I honestly think that the orbital is going to be best, especially if we're at this point.
Yeah, okay. Although, like, what is there that isn't adjacent right do we have right now?
Wait.
So
it'd be
these
any of
ones.
these inner ones, yeah.
This one needs again a special card to assault.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah.
we need that
Okay.
special card and another one to assault
Never
any of
mind.
the ones that we can't touch already. Or at least-
Also, I believe with what was the other one? Press the attack. Okay, so at the end of the step of the strategy phase, the player with this card concedes one additional location. A player can only capture a location if it is adjacent to the location they control. If the location is currently controlled by another player, it can only be captured if you won a game against the controlling player in the action phase. You would have had to
So
win
you can, so you
2.
can only usually capture one. Oh, you can capture two territories, right?
Yep, if you win the 2 battles in the action
Both
phase.
Okay. So then, I don't know. Pressing attack seems good. Let's just consolidate first. We could
Sure.
get.
Yeah.
Well,
That's fine.
yeah. Okay, so we'll get that first.
For 5.
Which one?
Then you press the attack.
Okay. So that is the spend strategy points.
Do you have more?
Well, we can do it once per side or once per player.
Well, I mean, it goes through until everybody passes, or you buy 3.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Sorry. Okay. So Brad, we can buy another one, or we
Yeah.
can. What was the other thing I was going to say? Or we can save our strategy points, and they will come up. What am I trying to say? Yeah. You can keep them over turns and stockpile them.
I think spending them now. If you see anything, I don't see anything that really strikes me. So if something really strikes you, we can buy it. But
3 strategy points, we can bypass having lost a battle to take another one.
might be useful.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, there wasn't anything else that I really. Urban Tactics might be kind of good. At next action phase, we get D3 additional command points in each battle.
I think we would forget about it.
Yeah, we probably would. How interesting. A lot of these require me to know the battles quite a bit better.
Yeah, I don't know the battles good enough to say which should be good ones.
Mm.
We could install comms and stuff and make it worth more points, but then if we lose it, it would be worth more
Yeah.
points for them. So that's a double-edged sword.
But on the other hand, we are losing when it comes to strategic value. Because we got 11 even with a random event that doubled our points for achieving the power base. So actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe upgrading some of the missions would be good. So I don't know if is there any. Okay. Okay, so the only so everything is adjacent because I just read that diagonally counts as adjacent, so they can claim any of these.
Okay.
So, and we're gonna go first. So, maybe it would be best to spend the 3 command points and get control through subversion, which during the seize territory step of the strategic phase, the player with this card can choose to capture a single location controlled by an enemy player, excluding special locations, even if they didn't win a sortie against them during the campaign round's action phase.
Might be a good idea.
Yeah, okay. We will pay 3, and we will buy that.
Okay. Lauren, do we want to buy cheap or do we want to take the other control through subversion?
Capture a single location. So would that let us capture 2 enemy held locations?
With all the other things, I think so.
I mean, with all the other things, we should capture 3, right? Because you can only capture if you've won a battle against them, right?
Yeah, we want a battle, they want a battle.
Yeah, so it looks like control through subversion counts as controlling or having won another battle.
Yeah, okay. So if we have this plus the press the attack, we can take 2 territories from you and then expand 1, right?
Yes, but in order to, there's no unknown places on the board right now.
What about these ones?
You have to use a special card to assault them.
You have to.
Oh, yeah, those are all okay. Those are all specials. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this. Wait, no.
Okay.
Never mind.
So we need to pick up. Well, the restrictions usually apply. So we only won 1 battle with the other, and that's still a restriction.
Yeah.
So we probably need to get the establish assault a special place, and then we can use that to just take it for free.
Which they haven't. Oh,
There's
no,
another one. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there should be 4.
Sorry, before you buy that, I don't think it works that way. Because if you read the assault stronghold, you don't just get it; you have to win it in the next assault phase.
Ah, okay.
So once during the action phase of the next campaign round, a player with this card can assault a special location if they are playing against the player that controls that location. To one of their own locations. The same special location can only be assaulted once per action phase. When you do so, play the mission as described, not special locations rules. If the player who launches the assault wins the game, they automatically take control of that location at the end of the seized territory step of the campaign round strategy phase. In addition to any other locations that seize if the player blah blah blah. Oh, actually, that actually kind of makes it sound like you don't need that card to take it right off the bat.
Yeah.
Let me check on that.
We don't own any fancy places.
Special locations that are controlled by another player can only be captured using the assault stronghold resource guide. Okay, so we're free to expand into the special locations this turn.
Okay, so press the attack is still good for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want control through subversion too? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
That.
We'll take it. We're at 0. You're at 1.
Okay. I don't think we can afford any more.
We can, but I don't think we should.
All right, then the spend strategy points is over. And next comes seize territory. In initiative order, each player captures a single location. Once each player has done this, each player then captures a second location, but this time in reverse initiative order.
Okay.
A player can only capture a location if it is adjacent to a location they already control. If the location is currently controlled by another player, it can only be captured if you won a game against a controlling player, blah, 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 blah. A little side note, doesn't apply to us right now. Losing all of your special territory, or losing all territories, doesn't mean you auto lose the campaign. There is a chance for you to get back in. I mean, in this case, it practically means that you've lost the game, but yeah. Anyways, so in initiative order, that is us.
Didn't it say reverse initiative order?
The second time around.
Yeah.
The second time around. Okay.
Brad, we need campaign points, and this is the one that's going to give us a punch.
Okay, grab it.
Okay. And then we basically get to pick 2 in a row.
It's at the end, but yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
be able to get the other one since they can
Okay.
only take territories from us now.
No, we can still take unknown territories, but you can nip all three
Oh, we picked 2 in a row.
because you picked 2 in a row.
Yeah.
So bad. We'll need to discuss which extra slot we get.
We just kick this from them again.
No, because you can only assault that because we own it now.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
special
Okay,
location.
fair.
Uh,
Okay. So where do we want to expand first? Is our
so
freebie?
C's territory can attack other players as well, right? We can, so long as we want to battle against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
take.
I think,
Yeah.
because Lauren, how these are worded, we're going to place one, then we're going to place again, and then they're going to place.
Yeah.
And then we end, and then we do the press the attack and control through subversion.
Okay. Yeah,
So
you're right.
no matter how we do this, we can only get 2 of the locations. 2 of the special locations. So I instead suggest taking this place,
Okay.
the warehouse, and then take the Saints location, and then we'll deal with the rest later.
Okay. Someone else will have to paste it. I don't have privileges.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
Alright, then it's your guys' choice for locations.
Okay. Do we want to take one of theirs, or do we want to try and take another special?
I say
Say another special. This one
special.
gives us
Yeah.
2 of each one. Okay.
How do we resolve these end of round stuff?
Okay. So during the season step, siege phase. This check is used to capture. Okay. So now you can seize one additional. And with control through yeah. So with control through subversion, at any point in time, you could have taken one of ours, but now you can take now with your extra one from press the attack, you can take an additional one.
We want to take that. Wait, Solar Mercantile, is that a special?
That is a special. Oh yeah, you can take that one because nobody controls it.
Or
It just
No, this.
is Solar
Well,
Mercantile, is that a special? Okay, I'm just curious.
it just means that control through subversion will have been wasted. But
we're gonna use press the attack to take roll.
Okay.
okay, so you can
Which-
take this one up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, before we do that, we do actually have to resolve control through subversions
Okay.
first.
We didn't choose to take any of yours.
Okay. I'm okay with saving, Lauren, unless you want to use it.
Yeah, we can save it. I don't think we can use it. It's not an extra one. It's instead of could choose to capture a single location, even if they didn't. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each resource card will instruct you whether its effects were resolved
Oh.
immediately, if they persist for the duration of the action phase of the next campaign round.
I actually do not think control through subversion is additional. I think it's just straight up.
It replaces one of your expansions.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I actually think we lose both of our controls. The control through subversions into the deck now. Does that make sense?
And I'm guessing you guys are going to play Assault Stronghold.
Yep. We will keep that one for the next assault phase.
For the upcoming assault phase, yeah.
Yeah. How do you get cards to all go into one deck again?
I shake them together, really.
You can hit G.
Oh yeah, that works too.
Okay. And I don't think we get to keep control through subversion. I think it evaporates. If you can find something that says different, then
Carried over. Maybe this includes any that are currently in play and inside the slots. Reduce this place their slots. Yada yada yada. Okay, so it does say you buy a card, it goes into your slot, and then it says when this is done, place the remaining strategic resource cards back in the box until the next strategic phase.
Okay, so maybe it does hang out then.
Okay.
Because I guess that's what the 3 is you can't have more than 3 cards in play.
Makes sense. Okay. And then the last thing for turn 1 will be generate random event. So this one is gone. Nope. Go. Shake her up. And we draw a new one.
You can shuffle cards in real life by shaking them.
Hidden cash.
When this random event is in play, all locations with a resource value of 0 are treated as having a resource value of 1 instead.
Nice. Helps us out a bit.
Cool. Alright. So that is turn 1. We are going to loop back around to the start of campaign round 2 now with the action phase. So everybody... Okay, so how we had planned before was that it would now be me versus Lodius and Gladdy versus Brad. That still work for everybody?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So everyone pick Assault, Hold, Reconnaître, Advance, or Reinforce, and type it into the chat. We'll, on the count of 3, all send it in.
Right.
I can spell. There it is. Okay, ready? Oh, in Discord. Right. Are we doing Discord or Tabletop Simulator?
I was doing it in Tabletop Simulator so that
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all
I
of...
was doing
Sorry
Discord.
about that. I was just thinking the program is recording the Tabletop Simulator, so...
Okay.
Okay.
I
Everybody
think.
ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so...
Very passive side.
Streets of Death campaigns. Where is the thing? Okay. So, reinforce and reinforce. That goes to isolated resistance. So I will type that. Okay. And are playing isolated resistance with Eternal War objectives. I may have misspelled that because I'm typing fast. Please don't judge me. Okay. So me and Lodius are hold and advance. That's Thunder Run. So, because that comes back to the question that we had, I'm going to say that we use the Assault Stronghold on that so that we don't have to deal with Thunder Run till we figure out better for it, okay? And I'm going to say for Saints Basilicum. Does that sound fair, Brad? It has the highest strategic value. Campaign value, sorry.
Sure.
Okay. That is Assault the Stronghold, so... Oh, I spelled your name as Brand. I'm so sorry, Brand.
I'm a brand now.
Playing... Wait, that's Saints Basilicum, right? That better not be Thunder Run. Yeah. Okay, Saints Basilica. It's... Decapitation. Huh.
Yep. Oh boy.
Okay.
The beefiest warlord.
If there's no more questions, I think we'll cut the recording and we'll make plans.
Okay, so we forgot to do something last time we met, or when we filmed it yesterday. And that was roll on the Anphelion project table for what exactly was going to happen to it was going to happen to one of the characters that the Tau side used. One of the special characters died last game, and so as a result, they get to have a roll on the Anphelion table. Now, Lodius has specifically requested that we use the special Shrek dice to roll and see what exactly will happen to this character. All right. A 5. Grievous wound. 2 Shrek faces, 3 Shrek faces. 5. The model has been badly hurt, either physically or mentally. It remains on your team's force list, but may not be used again until the next phase. All right.